All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into something, well, kind of everywhere.
You got it, data.
Oh, yeah, data. You can't escape it these days, right?
Right, and that's kind of the point of this deep dive, to look at how it's all around us.
Even in places you wouldn't expect. We're going to use the library as an example.
Sounds a little old school for a data deep dive.
I know, right? But that's what makes it so interesting. We've got definitions, real-world examples, like how they use data to keep track of all those books.
You'd be surprised how much data goes into running a library.
Totally. So by the end of this, you'll be looking at, well, pretty much everything differently.
You might even say you'll see the data matrix.
Ooh, getting a little matrixy there. Okay, so our source defines data as, hold on, let me get this right. Information used for a specific purpose or investigation.
So it's not just random stuff, it's got to have a job to do.
Exactly, like, think of it like ingredients in a recipe. Data is the raw material, right?
Yeah, it's what we use to understand the world around us, to interact with it. And just like ingredients, it comes in different forms.
Okay, so we've got barcodes, those things on every product.
Right, RFID tags, those are getting more and more common.
Like those little stickers on library books.
Yeah, exactly. And even things like NFC technology.
Like Apple Pay and stuff?
Exactly, yeah. All sorts of ways to store and transmit data. And then underpinning all of this is something called Boolean logic.
Boolean logic, that sounds, I don't know, kind of intimidating.
No, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's the language of computers, how they process information. It's all about true or false values represented by ones and zeros.
Ones and zeros, like the matrix.
Yeah, kind of like that. Think of a light switch. It's either on or off, right?
Right.
True or false, 1 or 0. Now imagine millions of these switches working together, and you start to see how computers do all those complex calculations, follow instructions.
Okay, so every time I'm scrolling through, I don't know, TikTok or whatever, Boolean logic is doing its thing.
Absolutely. Every website you visit, every search you make, even just scanning a library book, it's all Boolean logic at work.
Wow, that's kind of mind-blowing. All right, let's get back to those library books. Our source mentions how they use data to keep track of all their books.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It all starts with that barcode on the back of the book.
Right, the one they scan when you check out.
Exactly. That barcode, it translates to a unique identifier for that book.
So each book has its own special code.
Yep, and that code links to a whole bunch of information, title, author, publication date, the whole shebang.
And I'm guessing when it's due back.
You got it. That's how they send those overdue notices.
Yeah, those are never fun. But it's not just about due dates, right?
Right. Libraries use this data to see what people are borrowing, like what genres are popular in different areas.
So they can make sure they have the right books for their community.
Exactly. They can tailor their collection to better serve everyone's needs.
So it's like a, I don't know, strategy game with data.
You could say that. And they can even try to predict what books will be popular or find hidden gems in their collection.
Hidden gems. Like books people might miss otherwise.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about using data to make the library more, I guess, engaging for everyone.
That's really cool. But it also brings up something else our source mentioned, data privacy. I mean, is there a worry that all this tracking could be, well, a bit intrusive?
Data privacy is a huge deal, especially these days. And libraries, they take it very seriously.
They do.
Oh, yeah. They've got strict rules about how patron data is used, how it's protected.
Like what kind of rules?
Well, they use encryption, for example. It's like scrambling the data so nobody can read it without the right key.
Like a digital lock.
Exactly, yeah.
It's amazing to think about how much data is all around us. Like our source even mentions infrared and radio waves. Those are part of the data world too.
Oh, absolutely. Think of your TV remote. It uses infrared waves to talk to your TV.
Like to change the channel.
Yeah, or adjust the volume. That's data transmission, same as radio waves carrying music to your car radio.
Wow, so like RFID tags, those use radio waves too.
Yeah, they do. They're used for all sorts of things, like inventory tracking, contactless payments.
So we're basically swimming in invisible data waves all the time.
Pretty much, yeah. It's all around us, connecting us in ways we don't even realize. But it's important to remember that data itself is just, well, raw material.
So what makes it meaningful?
It's the humans, the data analysts. They're the ones who can understand the data, figure out what it means, and then use it to do something, make a change or discover something new.
Data analysts, they're like the chefs of the data world.
That's a great way to put it.
So like, what are some cool examples of how this data analysis stuff has led to real change in the world?
Oh, there are so many. For example, in healthcare,
Healthcare.
yeah, data analysts are helping researchers spot patterns in patient data
Okay.
that can lead to earlier diagnoses, finding better treatments. It's pretty amazing.
That is really amazing.
And then there's urban planning.
Urban planning, like designing
Yeah,
cities.
exactly. Data can help cities figure out how to make traffic flow better or how to use resources more effectively.
Even like predicting where crime might happen.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So it really has a huge impact on how we live our lives.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up our deep dive here, what's the main thing you want listeners to take away?
I'd say that data isn't this mysterious thing that's separate from us. It's part of our everyday lives, from those library books we talked about to how we get around the city.
And by understanding data better, we can make better choices.
Exactly. We can be more informed, make more conscious choices about our privacy, and even just find new possibilities in our lives.
And it's like data literacy is a superpower.
I like that.
So there you have it, folks. Data, it's not just for tech wizards anymore. It's for all of us. And that brings us to the end of our little journey into the dataverse.
Dataverse. I like that.
Next time you're at the library, take a second to think about all the data swirling around, working its magic. And until next time, stay curious.